how can you keep coming out with trends that you need to get bought at a huge rate to make them monetarily worthy if you're not even acknowledging over half your audience is over 50? Well, hi, everybody. It's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans on QVC-HSN, but now the proud host of Fashion Thursdays with Diane. I'm going to ask you a question. Are fashion cycles of fast fashion getting too fast? I think so. And do you have a trendy closet or an anti-trend closet? Well, I want to talk a little bit about reality. The one thing I loved about being on tele-retail TV was you knew instantly what the customer thought of your presentation and your collection. You would either see those phone lines just soar straight up like a jet taken off from JFK, or you'd see flatline. I think we can honestly split the fashion industry into two sections. Those brands that completely and totally design in an ivory tower, the designers that design fantasy for themselves, or the kind of designer I was, the customer community. Because when I think of fast fashion, I think of it in two ways. Number one, look at this. I love this. I love those balloons, but I never do this deliberately. But okay, it's going to be a good day. We had multicolored balloons. I think of, do I want to invest in an article of clothing that may look completely inappropriate a year later? Too boring if I constantly go anti-trend? Here's the problem. 52% of female customers for fashion today in the United States are over 50. Okay, so what happens around 45 or 50? Menopause. And what happens with menopause? Tremendous changes in our body. And what I could wear as a 30-year-old or even a 40-year-old, I cannot wear as a 55-year-old, a 60-year-old, a 70-year-old. So, number one, you want to participate in a few trends here and there. Are they meant for you and I? No, they're meant for 20-year-olds. Hey, hello, part of fast fashion is price. And the fact that we can get in on price points that I didn't used to think there was even a portal for. But honestly, to tell you the truth, found it. And I found it on Amazon, and their basics, their t-shirts, their tank tops, their leggings are excellent quality for an incredible price. So what I do rather than fast fashion is I'll get the most modern looking layering pieces or leggings, best colors. I stock up. I'm a multi-purchase buyer. But that's basics. Although I think fast fashion is partially price, which we all know is going to be very challenged now, so I really stocked up. As far as fast fashion goes, if somebody made something for my 70-plus-year-old body, I'd be thrilled to buy it. But I think that you sit there and you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to have to get a physical therapist for my neck because it's skinny jean, not skinny jean, barrel jean, not barrel jean, wide leg jean, not wide leg jean. And how fast can these cycles go by? Then again, as an educated Manhattanite who was in the fashion industry for almost 60 years, I have to say to myself, they're not giving me what I want. What I like to do is keep an anti-trend closet, but put my trends into accessories, costume jewelry, scarves, shoes, handbags. So, asking myself, what did I want this season, spring into summer, into early fall? I have a thing for Gucci. And every time I celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, a business deal, I'll buy myself something Gucci. Where were they for the last year and a half? Now, they have literally fired their head designer every single season for 3 seasons in a row. But you know what? Honestly, playing it safe in a fashion brand can be the most dangerous thing that fashion brand can do. Here's what I wanted. Do you remember when Gucci had a fast fashion cycle? It was probably about 8 years ago, and it was beautiful. They silk screened flowers and butterflies and flora and fauna all over their Gucci logo fabric, and it was spectacular. And no one had ever seen anything like it before. And the colors were spring-like and bright and uplifting. I don't know about you, but I'm about up to here with bad news. And if I'm going to buy anything, even if it's trendy, I want it to be happy, beautiful, and uplifting and inspirational and aspirational. So what would I have wanted? How would I have spent my fashion money, albeit fast fashion, for 2025? If they had come out with, and I am slightly obsessed by, bamboo bags, bamboo handle, top handle Gucci bag in bright colors, and some of them silk screened with flowers and birds, hummingbirds and butterflies, and matching bright loafers so that I could wear same color handbag, even if it was silk screened, with that bamboo handle, and maybe put bamboo horsebit on the loafer, the bright loafer. Oh my God, it would have been really tough for me not to spend a lot of money and buy at least 2 of each. They came out with nothing I could relate to. Ivory, black, gray. Oh, come on, people. So fast fashion runs 2 ways. There is the price saving fast fashion. I love that for all my layering basics. But there is also the statement fast fashion that's supposed to make people go, ooh, she's really in the know. She gets it. Well, the fast fashion that's price saving is now going to have pretty big chunk of dollars added to it. And the fashion brands that I relate to the most for accessories, which is Louis Vuitton and Gucci. Louis Vuitton, they came out with that same Maracama colored pastel logos on white. Number one, way too seasonal for me. I'm way too hard on handbags to have a white ground handbag. And second of all, I saw it before. I mean, you did this big build up to, yeah, oh, we're so ahead of it all. No, this is just like repeat, repeat, repeat. For the older customer like me, I hate to say it because it sounds so jaded, but we've sort of seen it all, done it all. And I can tell you just from history, I keep going back to the same things. And I realized I really do have an anti-trend closet. I like my skinny jean. It's the best part of my body, my skinny legs. They've always been skinny. So do I deserve them as good as they look? Probably not, but I was born with them, so I still get them. For a barrel jean, I'm not going for a wide leg jean. They were showing a wide leg jean, and they're quoting somebody, and she was gorgeous. She was a model, white hair, skinny, really skinny. And she's like, oh, I found it's so great to wear wide leg jeans, but she had a top tucked in and belted. My waist is by far not the most enviable part of my body, and I am not going there. So there's a whole trend they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'm thinking to myself, you have to wear a platform with it. You can't wear flat. Can't wear a loafer. It's flapping in the wind. Perfect to just trip and fall. You constantly have to be worried about a form-fitting top, tucking something in. So I would say that is fast fashion moving too fast? To me, one thing I do appreciate, if you're going to follow a trend, like the TV show HBO White Lotus, which had such gorgeous high-end tropical wear in it. H&M did a fantastic job. Fantastic. They really did it right. Problem was, by the time I got to it, they were sold out on everything 2 weeks later. And because one of the hallmarks of fast fashion is they want to use less fabric. That's part of how they achieve the price. I am not opposed to having a closet at many, many, many different price levels. And then if it's done right, it's so good it becomes heritage. So there is a level of fast fashion that goes on to become historically correct and wearable. But the problem is there are no new ideas coming out of the fashion industry. And um I love what I do in podcasting, and I surround myself with all different decades of friends and collaborators and guests. I have asked every single female around me, are you following fast fashion? What's your favorite fast fashion trend? And I just get this Jacqueline dear look like, Because I remember how the fashion industry followed the baby boomer. We were and still are the spending power of America. And America is a graying nation. And therefore, how can you be a successful industry? And how can you keep coming out with trends that you need to get bought at a huge rate to make them monetarily worthy if you're not even acknowledging over half your audience is over 50? And they're just not going to wear what a 20-year-old wears. And it's interesting to me, too, that brands of mall stores like Forever 21 that really catered to that younger, dollar sensitive customer are all going out of business. So, hello, guess what? We're here. Baby boomers unite, and nobody is dressing us as usual, as per usual. And yeah, I would love some cheap fast fashion, which is not going to be so cheap anymore. But I have nothing against that, especially for the warm weather months of the year, when you want to be playful and not take things so seriously, and you don't need to be investing in cashmere, although there's even fast fashion cashmere now from people like Quince. But I have definitely developed and collected an anti-trend closet, and that is not something as a much younger woman that I did. I dressed to shock. I dressed to impress. I dressed to be noticed and heard. And now I dress for timeless, which is what I would like to be at almost 80 years old. I dress for dignity. I'm always looking for ways to take care of my body and have it express itself through that healthy glow. And I think I found what to me is a miracle. It is called Amra. It's got all sorts of collagen. It's got peptides. It has vitamins. It has minerals. And it's just this tiny little scoop of it. I don't even take it with juice. Honestly, I just pop it in my mouth. It tastes like butterscotch. It absorbs quickly, and it makes a big difference. As you age, even if you are eating correctly, you are absorbing less vitamins. That's just what happens to your body. You need a supplement that's easy to take, almost instantaneously gives you results, more energy, better looking skin and hair, and helps you form a healthy habit and start to get all the nutrients you need. That is Amra. I love Amra. I dress for respect. And yeah, that can be fast fashion too. But I'm telling you, fashion industry that I stepped out of at 78 years old. I worked forever, and now I'm working again as a podcaster and loving it. You cannot think that you can be successful when you exclude half the females in this country just because they're over 50. My God, there's enough of you. And, to be able to cover every decade. And yet I went out on a quest at the beginning of the year. I wanted to see what other people were doing in my industry, fashion. Honestly, I'm at one of my thinnest points in my entire life. And nothing fit. Way too small in the waist, had to go up 3 sizes, then way too big in the leg, looked like freaky, looked like a mistake. People, we as baby boomers and I think Gen Zs are right below us. We deserve to have our own brands, and we deserve to have brands that are fast fashion. But I will tell you what, I see the whole accessories market missing, just missing out. If you are over 50 and you are interested in looking fast fashiony, stylish, moving on, contemporary, with a knowledge of fashion and kind of on the go and in the know, accessories are the way to do it. And there is not one brand, high end, major brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, that are doing it and giving us anything relevant. And in an era where I think it is so obvious we should be bringing back costume jewelry and make it happy and frivolous and ridiculously cute and sparkly. There's absolutely no brands at all. I can't find a bright purse. I can't find a bright flat shoe that I love. I can't mix and match colors. I can't take what I have in my wardrobe and build on it like maybe 5 years ago. I bought a whole series of cashmere sweaters from J. Crew. That was a brand that really understood whether you were 20 or you were 60. You wanted cashmere and you wanted those pieces in outrageous colors that you could mix and match. Now, not one fashion color. So disappointing. And if you've already got beige, black, navy, gray in your closet, you don't need to buy another one. That is the problem today. Fast fashion is kind of absurd, frivolous pieces when we should actually redefine fast fashion as color, every price level, accessories, every price level, and let us as a customer drive the fashion bus. I would mix and match colors. I would put together maybe bright emerald green purse with an acid green or lemon yellow loafer. A mid-tone denim jean in between. Maybe try to match up the t-shirt to the handbag or the shoe. But we don't get that anymore. Now the fast fashion is really slowing down because of what's going on with China. You're going to see even less of it. And for somebody like me that's really a creative dresser and very aware of my age and how little is offered to me and how can I look conversational. I mean, I actually always used some form of fast fashion as an icebreaker, a conversation maker, passport to fashion, an identification of who I am and who I was. There's no alternatives anymore. There is nothing that makes you feel as an aging female better than a compliment. I love your bag. Where did you get it? I love those colors. You put those together yourself? Oh my God. That is so original. You look so happy today. Yeah, we're missing all of that. So fast fashion is not true to itself because the real problem with fashion today is it doesn't want to recognize half its audience, over half its audience, which are over 50 women, no longer perfect, no longer so easy to dress, already have a lot of stuff in their closet. So you got to keep figuring out what's worthy and what's new. And oh, God forbid, you should make it wearable or honestly respect them and think about what their everyday life is and work your designs to that. So the fashion industry, and certainly even at the top, Gucci and Louis Vuitton have had a terrible last 12, 14 months, just gone down and down and down. Hey, big designers, hey, people, I want to give you a little heads up. You're not making what we want to buy. And as much as you want to stay in your ivory towers and say, buy what we make, it doesn't happen that way anymore. That is not the ethos of fashion purchases or fast fashion. It's make what we, as the consumer, want and need. And guess what? We'll spend our money with you. You know, it's amazing to me that they bring back Murakami, the Japanese artist. And I think, oh, it's going to be all new and it's going to be like hand silkscreen bags and I can't wait. And then there's the whole thing, which was really artful in New York and also in Paris, where they're redoing their stores. So they made them look like stacked trunks, insanely visual. The new store on 57th Street for us in New York is so beautiful looking into it. And they put in a cafe where there's a 10-month waiting list and it costs you $200 just to have mid-afternoon coffee. And it all sounds great, but their numbers tanked. Their financials tanked. And the same for Gucci. And you know what? I was a fashion designer and was never applauded or given an award except in tele-retail because I did one thing. I didn't design for some imaginary female human being. I designed for my generation, very unpopular point of view, and I figured out and respected and executed what they wanted. Now, fast fashion at its purest concept is about the one thing that every female wants, which is, quite frankly, I'm going to use the word cheap fashion. Therefore, you can afford to buy it and not use it a year later. I call it buy trash and go clothing, where you buy it for a year, a season or two, and it winds up being given away or, quite frankly, just thrown away. You're not expecting the clothing necessarily to last, and that most of the fibers you're wearing are very unhealthy for you, which they are. And now you're like, huh? I just got used to paying nothing for what I'm wearing. And then the other fast fashion, which is, no, I get it. I get it. You're thinking to yourself, well, if somebody is going to spend $3,000 on a bamboo top handle Gucci bag, they're going to want it in a serious color like gray or ivory. But if you're a 70-year-old plus customer like me or a 50-year-old plus customer, and you already have a basic couple of designer bags in those serious, wear every day, good investment colors, you want something happy. What did I pull out of my closet today? Has to be 20 years old. I remember buying it about 20 years ago at Harvey Nichols in London, a Balmain bag with all the zippers on it in green ostrich with luggage brown trim. And you know what? I bought, and that was about 10 years ago in Scandinavia, a really crazy hand knit sweater with a crazy bird on it with all this multicolored yarn coming off of it, some of which is green. And that's what I choose to wear out today. Happiness. Happy. Bright. Bold. But when you wear bold in an accessory past the age of 50, it's okay. And you can consider it fast fashion. And honestly, if lesser handbag manufacturers who were doing $60, $100 handbags instead of $3,000 handbags who were doing that, I'd buy one. But that fast fashion in accessories follows the designer fashion, and it's all too safe and it's all too serious. And I say it again, the most dangerous thing you can do as a fashion designer in the industry is keep on making repetitive, safe clothing. I wonder if you have the time to answer me on this query. If you are over 50, 55, do you have any favorite fast fashion brands? Things that I haven't discovered yet? You know, that is honestly what I loved and respected about tele-retail the most. QVC and HSN, and it was global for QVC. We're very aware that the woman, the customer watching, was a baby boomer or an older customer. She was over 50, always with a mindset that it had to be very affordable. I loved being and designing and selling within that framework. So if you've got any brands, any labels, tele-retail or brick and mortar or online that you feel are at a fantastic price and allow you to constantly revive or set a new trend, as in fast fashion, please share with me. I would love to know what you're wearing and who you're wearing. Well, I would definitely participate in fast fashion if A, it was at least a compromise build partially for my body type now in my 70s. You know, that is the other thing too. Honestly, and this is a bit of a gripe with me. What do you think, we dropped off the face of the earth? You think the earth is flat and we just dropped off of it? Well, maybe the fashion earth is flat and you drop off. We're not even given a chance at 60 or 70 to wear fast fashion. Really, or what we're supposed to wear, or if we're even supposed to care what we wear. But my industry, fashion industry, big headline for you. We do care how we look past 50, 55. We do care what we wear. And we would love to have more opportunities like 20-year-olds have to buy things not at some huge investment price and feel like we're part of a gigantic girl consortium, which we are. So give me your thoughts on this, my female community. We are the 600-pound gorilla in the room, and we deserve to be noticed, and we should have our very own brands and sections of fast fashion. Well, I'm waiting to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to my ranting and raving about how we should dress and be inspirational and aspirational. And I wish for all of you that you shall always be too young to be old. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.